playing the New York scene, um, it's amazing how many people came from Long Island. Debbie came from Long Island, Billy Joel. Like I said, Joan Jett, Twisted Sister, the Good Rats. I played with a couple of guys from that band years ago. They were really big, and they did some major shows. I sort of played in the very last rendition of that when everybody else is gone. Hard rock, but melodic. Um, Gosh, I can't remember. I'd have to look at my own resume that I have online to remember the folks that I played with. Well, you turn 60 something, you have a big long trail in the rear view mirror. A lot of bumps there.
Yeah.
Lots of speed bumps. But made a lot of friends. I'm still friends with many of the folks. A friend of mine, a drummer that I played with, he was playing with Meatloaf, but Meatloaf passed away sadly.
Yeah.
But Dawn and I got to see Meatloaf on his last tour, and it was a night of hits. It was amazing. Another friend of mine played bass in that band, and we got to see them on the same night. So I think he's probably doing Boys to Cult now. Some great bass player, Danny Miranda, fantastic player. Yeah.
Now, in New York, because they always said this about LA with the hard rock guys, the hair metal guys, the White Snakes, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which I always lean that way when it comes to that kind of music. I always liked it bluesy, melodic, with an edge. You know. But now in New York, well, they always said, that's what I was getting to, I guess. Was New York like what they usually say, is that when you go there, or when you're from there, when you play there, it felt like you had a chance. You had a chance of making it. That vibe was always there, that it was a positive thing and that it could happen. Or was you was just beating your brains out and it's like, this is just horrible?
A lot of beating your brains out.
Yeah, okay.
But there was a lot of talent in New York City, but at that time in the 80s and 90s, it really was sort of a place where a lot of people came. There was a lot of singer-songwriter material. I'm not going to say there wasn't a metal scene, but not like LA. I think LA really had that, just my opinion.
Yeah.
And from what I saw, there was a lot of punk, probably late 70s, mid 70s to late 70s, even to the early 80s. But not so much pop. There was some funk and R&B. You had then you had Bon Jovi like cutting their records, and that was kind of, I guess that's hair metal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. I'm really not sure. I always just kind of called it hard rock, but
yeah,
Bon Jovi and that Desmond Child, he was the staple of my childhood. I mean, from Cher to Kiss, Bon Jovi, and it's just like he just spits these hits out like, there you go, send me a check, see you later. The guy is amazing.
How many hits has he written? I don't even know, but
I seen a doc on him. I don't know, some time ago, and it was like 70. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. If I am, then folks leave it in the comments down below. But it was like 70, 80 hits. Michael Bolton, which that will bring the Bruce Kulick thing up because he did the Michael Bolton thing, and some of the other people. Speaking of hair metal, George Lynch, and I forgot to talk about the other night on the phone, which we kind of got carried away already. We should have recorded, like you said.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Derek St. Holmes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've only done the guitar shows with him, but down here in Dallas, Texas.
No, was that NAMM or what was that?
It was twice a year. There is a really big guitar show here in Dallas, Texas, and it's a big vintage show. I mean, tens of thousands of people come to it. There's all sorts of artists play. It's a guitar wank fest. Everybody comes, but I was sort of one of the designated guys with the drummer Mike Gage, and we would play with a couple of these different bands. George Lynch was one of them, and man, that guy has great tone. It's probably the best guitar tone. I never saw a Friedman amplifier before. I guess it's like a Marshall to the way a Plexi would sound.
I see. Oh yeah.
He had his guitar, a cable into the amp. We were rehearsing the day before we had to do the guitar show. I was like, my God, it was the best guitar sound I've ever heard. It was thick and it had bottom, but it wasn't boomy, and it was bright, but it wasn't like taking your head off, and you could feel like chunk, chunk, chunk. It was like,
oh yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
And he was pretty cool. Yeah, George Lynch was a nice guy. So I did a few shows with him, as a matter of fact, probably about 4 guitar shows in a private clinic that he did. And I haven't spoken to him in a while. There was this guy here in Dallas that runs sort of a guitar learning school online.
I see.
And he'd hire me to come in, and we did something with Gus G, who played guitar with Ozzy for a while. So we did a metal thing. It's really funny because I went in and did the meat and potato stuff, and who comes in the next day to do all the crazy stuff? Billy freaking Sheehan.
Oh no,
dude!
Really?
Amazing. Yeah, we were in the studio, and Gus G is doing his guitar thing, and I'm doing my bass tracks, and who do I see come walking in the control room? Is Billy Sheehan. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm playing like the simple like metal things, and he's setting up to go do. I was like, oh man. But no, we wound up hanging out and talking, and we didn't talk bass stuff at all. We talked about fishing and politics stuff and everything else. Everything else, nothing bass.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. Here's Billy Sheehan, and we're not talking bass. We're talking about
gear or something.
Golfing.
Yeah.
The grandkids.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it was really cool. He's a gentleman.
Sheehan seems like he is. Seems like he's a very humble guy too, and thankful for what he has.
He's amazing. And not only amazing, but like he's an amazing person too. But as a player, man, and he has a really unique sound. As soon as you hear it, you know what it is. And I'm just doing the meat and potatoes, like Motowny stuff. I'm like, holy shit, Billy freaking Sheehan.
Yeah. Which I have a great deal of love for Motown. Those bass players.
Oh yeah.
Are the shit. Just like the '60s bass player, they had a feel that I don't think anyone can touch. They made those songs. It's easier to copy what somebody does. They come up with that, and those '60s songs were almost like what you would play in a dance bar. Those bass lines, they were moving.
The syncopation. Syncopation, and just the thickness and the fatness of the tone mixing with the drums it's iconic. It's an era that, it's really funny because I feel like I'm starting to hear some of that come back again. For probably about 7 or 8 years, everybody, years ago, I was playing jazz basses or, basses with 2 pickups and round wound strings, real plinky, and I did the slappity tappity stuff. And the past 7 years, I'm playing a lot of P basses with flat wound strings on it, and it's just that sort of sound of like a nice attack with a good thud punch. And now everybody's doing that. I mean, some of the biggest players are using that. That's Nashville.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good rock stuff coming out of Nashville too, but also I've really become a fan of flat wound strings and sort of more of an old school sound. That's why actually I've been using this amp. This is Ashdown. It's an Ashdown, yeah.
Oh, okay, Ashdown.
Yeah, and I freaking love the thing. It's fat, has like a nice punchy tone to it. I've gone a lot of different ways, but I've come back to that again. Yeah, but I can't remember the. Go ahead.
I think a huge breath of fresh air. I say nowadays, but as you get older, nowadays means 10 years.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars has brought life back. The musicianship, and he's got that Marvin Gaye, Michael Jackson.
Absolutely.
It's all in the melting pot, And I never thought I would listen to music past 95. And my girls one day said, Bruno Mars. I said, I have no interest. And they put it on. And I said, who the hell is that?
Oh, yeah.
And it was over,
Great playing, great singing. As a matter of fact, I did a corporate gig about 6 months or so ago, and we had to play a couple of Bruno Mars songs. I'm going, man, this is good. It's grooving.
Yeah.
It's funky. It has a fat sound to it. And then, then I go off and do my original project the next day.
Yeah.
But
but that's what makes people like you who you are. You can shift gears like that because, going back to what you said, play with as many people as you can, and just you can set in the
Yeah.
basement all you want, but
Well,
it's playing with other musicians allows you to do what you do to make those gear changes quickly from jazz to hard rock or what have you more easy.
well, it sure beats flipping burgers.
That ain't no shit. I've been on both ends of all of it.
To me, it's always been it's been my job. And I try to do the best job I can. Well, all the time. We're all human. We make mistakes, whatever. But I bring what I can. I bring what I know to the game all the time. Always do my best. And I never wanted to be a rock star. That wasn't my goal. Was to be appreciated by other musicians for what I do. That was really important to me. And if I made money or if I didn't make money, and there's many gigs that we never made money, but you feel really good because you did something, you really contributed something, and you created something at the moment. And to me, that's like that little special thing, and it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
It's really rare. It's almost like trying to catch the old saying, catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that happened. And it still happens. It happened a couple times on the Deb Gibson tour. Both.
Yeah, we was getting ready to bounce back to that.
Yeah, both of them. There were a few instances. There were some funny instances.
Yeah, let's roll with that. Now, real quick.
Yeah.
Now, we were when you was talking about flat wounds and stuff. It's
Yeah.
a good time with endorsements or the products that
Yeah.
you like. I know
Yeah.
you're a fan of DR strings. At least one
Yeah.
set of one company anyway.
For my round wounds, I love DRs, and I've been using which ones? The low beams and the high beams.
Yeah,
They're
got
round
bite.
wound. Yeah, they got some brightness, and one of them's nickel, the other one's stainless. I think it's low beams. I have a box of them over there, and they sound good on P basses or jazz basses or my 5-string. But for flat wounds, I've been using Diodarios only because I haven't tried anything else.
Yeah.
As far as flat wounds, they'll last me. Now I'll leave them on for 2-3 years sometimes.
Kind
So
of doing the Carol Kay thing. I think she said it was 15 years before she changed strings.
wow,
You're
good for her,
15
man.
yeah. And I remember seeing that post on Facebook of you asking your fellow, I guess, friends, musicians
Yeah.
about flats,
Yeah, that was somewhere on Facebook. I did that about a month ago, so I guess. And then it was James Jamerson, who was like the great. He did so much of the Motown stuff. He had that old P bass, and he played with one finger.
Yeah.
I don't know how he did all those songs with just like one. But there was rumor. I don't know if this is factual, but he still had the same strings on his bass when he bought it. And
Oh, really?
Who knows? I mean, all those
Sure.
songs are probably done on one set of strings. God knows, only he does. God rest his soul. He was
Yeah.
a master. As far as that. But yeah, GR strings, and I've been playing my Fenders a lot. I have a 72 P bass that I got when I was in high school, and I just had the pickups redone on that. Jimmy Capola from the Leva Capola basses.